come to understand that. We don't have that problem in Ottawa. Our players are here to do one thing and one thing only, and that's to win. We're here to bring a championship, a Can-Am championship, to the city of Ottawa. That's their number one priority, in addition to, of course, taking care of their own careers. They want to get back into the major leagues. Our ace, Andrew Werner, drafted by the Oakland A's, played for the Padres. He actually has major league experience. He's been in the show. He can talk about the life in the show. And that's, to these kids, that's everything to them. And you read anything about the minor leagues, independent baseball, we're a part of the ecosystem. We're an important part. We're going to have professional scouts coming to Ottawa to look at these guys.
What are some other recent... Colabello, is he the main success? He's playing for the Jays right now.
Colabello.
And he was really good for the Twins,
that's
and then
right.
he fell off in the second half of the season.
Andrew Albers.
Oh, Albers was?
Albers was a Can-Am player. There are a couple of others. These are guys who have played in different ballparks across the Can-Am. We have a sister league as well, the American Association. They play, there's 13 teams going from Winnipeg, far north Winnipeg, all the way down south to Laredo, Texas. There's a series of guys who, are getting close. And they've been drafted in the professional baseball world, and they're coming to Can-Am because they're coming out of the system, hoping they can go back. The average age of our players is 25. They're not, old and decrepit and on the way out of their careers. They're just looking for an opportunity to get back in.
It's a damn hard game. It's a hard game.
It is.
It's a hard game to break in, and you have to have that passion. We'll be right back. We'll talk about some individual players. We'll talk about batting cages. And we'll talk about local tryouts and what we can expect at the stadium in just a moment. We're going to listen to Jen talk about carb loading before the big race. I hope a lot of you get out to the. I love every single year I go to the finish line of the marathon.
Yeah.
And just cheer people. It's so uplifting to stay there for 2 hours.
Sure.
To see the people cross. There's nothing better than that on an ice.
Nice.
And then you do the. Raven swing like at Minto Park in Centertown. It's a great weekend.
Yeah.
So Jen will talk, and we'll listen to Bring It Back from the Lucas Haneman Express, and we'll be right back.
Thanks, guys. Today I'm going to be doing something a little different than my usual suggestion of food events around town. In fact, with the Ottawa race weekend fast approaching, I've received some questions as to the kinds of foods one should consume for carb loading the night before the race and places to go for that big dinner. So I'm going to focus first on the foods one should eat. Now, carb loading can help you race without hitting that wall as long as you do it right. And what I mean by hitting that wall is that you don't want to feel as though you have no energy left in the middle of your race. That is, there's nothing left in your tank. Foods you should eat are pasta, rice, potatoes, and other high-carb foods. Carbs are a fantastic source of energy, and you'll need a lot of it, especially if you're running a half or full marathon. Foods such as tortillas, bread, oatmeal, pancakes, bagels, let's see, what else? Oh, yogurt, waffles, and fruit juice are easy to digest, making them great options to eat the morning of your race or perhaps for lunch if you are running Saturday afternoon or in the early evening. As for fruit, most are high in carb, but you'll need to be careful because they can also be high in fiber. So if you consume too much fruit, that can cause stomach trouble during your race. If you want fruit, though, consider bananas or peel the skins off of your apples, peaches, and pears to reduce their fiber content. Make sure you're also whole marathon. Foods such as tortillas, bread, oatmeal, pancakes, bagels, let's see, what else? Oh, yogurt, waffles, and fruit juice are easy to digest, making them great options to eat the morning of your race or perhaps for lunch if you are running Saturday afternoon or in the early evening. As for fruit, most are high in carb, but you'll need to be careful because they can also be high in fiber. So if you consume too much fruit, that can cause stomach trouble during your race. If you want fruit, though, consider bananas or peel the skins off of your apples, peaches, and pears to reduce their fiber content. Make sure you're also steering clear, though, of high-fat foods such as creamy sauces, cheese, butter, and oils. Not only will you feel full much faster, but it also takes longer to digest. So pick jam over butter. Pick tomato sauce instead of, say, Alfredo sauce. And for dessert, frozen yogurt would be a better option than ice cream. Choose sushi or noodles rather than tempura. Now, you can't just load up on carbs though the night before. You need to start carb loading at least 2 or 3 days before your race. Make sure your intake of food though matches the distance that you'll be running. Have an early dinner and eat until you feel pleasantly full, but not stuffed. You want to wake up on race day feeling relatively hungry, definitely not full and bloated from the night before. Drink plenty of water, and then afterwards you can always reward yourself with a glass of wine or a pint of beer. If you're running Sunday morning, try to finish your breakfast at least 2 hours before your race starts. As for restaurants to go to, I would recommend that you really just choose a place you feel most comfortable dining at. I myself like to go to all-you-can-eat sushi places, and last year I chose to do my final carb loading, eating ramen noodles at Ginza over on Somerset Street in Chinatown. Or you could do what a really good friend of mine does. He invites his friends over and they have a big pasta dinner party. Oh, and before I forget, make sure that you also take the time to eat after you've finished your race and have done some stretches. Your body is going to demand that you refuel it. And that's it for today. Enjoy the rest of your week. For those of you running this weekend, have an awesome race, and perhaps I will see you during my half marathon.
He was a crazy fool, he didn't want to talk to you. Drinking and smoking so much that he couldn't tell black from blue. You're with that crazy man who didn't have a master plan. Finally, one day, you packed up your bags and ran. Bring back the love in your life, stare at the bright burning light. Crash to the wall, bullets and all, and pick yourself up with delight. You gotta bring back the joy in your heart. Take it back to.
All right, thank you so much, Jen, and thank you, Lucas Haneman Express. Bring it back from the new album. Welcome aboard. And we're back with David Gurley, and in the background you can hear the fields being watered.
Yeah.
How often does this field get watered?
This is a daily ritual now, Nick. We're getting ready to play tomorrow, so the players were doing their spring training practice from about 10 to, I think earlier this morning, because we did some media this morning, and now it's just getting ready for play tomorrow.
And hopefully that water doesn't come onto my computer. Hopefully you're blocking it.
Wow.
Oh, crap. It's coming over here.
No, it's fine.
That's all good. So what can we expect at the stadium? I know there's a lot of new things, and it's a lot better looking than the last time I was here. So
that's right. So as I was saying earlier, we've got about just under $2 million of improvements from the city. So what we've done is we've got a new painted concourse, blue concourse, to reflect our colors. We've got a completely repaved parking lot with yellow lines. A bunch of work has been done to our suites upstairs. We have 9 hospitality suites, new carpets.
How much do
things
suites
like
kind of
that.
go for?
They go for $400 for 18 seats, for 18 tickets. Each suite is different, though. Each suite is designed differently. Some have bathrooms, some do not. So it depends on what kind of party you have, how many numbers you are, things of that nature. So we've got lots of painting, mainly aesthetics more than anything else, as I mentioned before. We've got a brand new video scoreboard, a redesigned barbecue area. We've got all new signage to reflect the fact that we have a new naming rights partner as well, and that's something that's very important to us. Raymond Chabot, Grant Thornton stepped up to the plate even before we started playing baseball because they believed in our message of community.
Are they big baseball fans?
They're huge baseball fans. A lot of them are Expo fans. They remember the glory days of the Expos. Be amazed how many people of a certain generation you start talking about baseball and they just immediately gravitate to the Expos.
And what kind of prices can people expect when they're here?
Sure. So we are our general admission seats. So we're general admission, festival seating, and the concept is you buy a ticket. Your ticket does not have a seat assigned to it. You sit wherever you like. Fans like us, we like different perspectives of a game. We like sometimes first base, third base, home plate.
What are you?
Higher perspective. I've always been a third base guy.
Third base.
I love third base. I love watching the signs, the first base coach, third base coach, things like that.
I'm a standing room
But
guy.
we also like to change and move around.
Yeah, exactly.
Hockey is a little different that way, but in baseball, people like to walk around. You like to get up, and it's a relaxed atmosphere. We don't want our fans stressed about, is someone going to take my seat, right? So get up, sit somewhere else. It's not a problem. Season ticket holders will have their names on seats, though, whether they're business or an individual. You cannot sit in those seats.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's free reign. So it's $12 general admission, $10 for youth and seniors. Kids under 5 are free. We want to be very affordable for our fans. That's part of our business strategy, Nick. We do not want to outprice ourselves. We don't want people arriving at the ballpark. A draft beer is $5.25. We think that is extremely affordable. And not only that, it's all local craft beer.
Yeah.
It's Kitchissippi Clock Tower. That's all you can get at the ballpark from a local standpoint. And we're fully committed to local. That's part of our business strategy.
And how many places will people be able to buy food from?
Yeah, so we have our main concessions, which is just to the left when you enter. We'll have 2-3 other concessions open, depending on the amount of crowd that we have. It'll be a game time decision, as they say, based on the crowd that we have and demand and things like that.
Because I remember when the Fat Cats played here, the lineups were massive. It was dreadful. The whole lot. It was.
So speaking of our strategy, La Cage aux Sports is here now.
Yeah.
This is their first property outside the province of Quebec. We're extremely excited to have them. They've already invested $100,000 of their own money to pump right into the new kitchen equipment here. It's kind of embarrassing to say it, but if you came to Fat Cats games, you were enjoying food that was made at the same kitchen equipment, ovens, stoves, fridges, from the Ottawa Lynx days.
Yes.
So in order for this to work, my top priority from a concession standpoint was to have those replaced. Get rid of the ovens and the stoves and the fridges and all the piping for the draft beer, because the kegs of beer are downstairs in the basement flowing upstairs. But the tubing was literally from the 1990s. It wasn't replaced. So we didn't see a lot of commitment to the game of baseball. In the past, we saw a commitment to put a team on the field, but we need a lot more, and that's what we've delivered. So the beer, the food, La Cage they're experts in the field.
Will they be open just during game days? Like they'll travel here, like maybe workers from their other restaurant will come here?
No, they've actually hired a whole new crew just for this.
Okay.
A whole new crew. They work, it's seasonal work, of course.
Yeah, we got 55 home games.
That's
so
right.
Be working the 55.
55 games, and they'll only work during game times.
Okay.
A couple hours before. We'll do some private events. We had a private event yesterday for our season ticket holders and our Flex Pack holders. So that went really well, and La Cage was open for that. They opened up a barbecue, served some beer and things like that. And I've got to tell you, the beer, the food, the beer, just
good.
Cold beer, hot food, good quality all around.
And if people don't know you, you have traveled. How many stadiums have you been to? How many spring training stadiums have you been to? Because they know you're a legit.
That's right.
A legit expert.
Yeah,
I would say.
I think since I started the Champions and I started this journey in baseball, I've probably been to about 20. That's a combination of minor leagues, spring training, and of course professional.
What are some of the favorite things that you've seen at minor league? Because minor leagues, if you follow the minor league baseball, there are some interesting.
That's right.
Game nights.
That's right.
And,
it's
specialties
really
that we're going to be taking.
That's right. So it really is about family entertainment, because it breaks my heart to say, it break your heart to hear this. It's not all about the baseball.
No.
Sometimes
it's about experience. People
that's right.
For experience.
People come here. It's like Comerica Park, right behind home plate in the stands. Behind the stands is a playground and a merry-go-round.
Yeah.
And the lineup for that is probably longer than 2
beer.
innings.
Yeah.
That's right. Because families go to a baseball game to enjoy the outdoors. Kids can run around. It's a very family-friendly environment, and that's what they do. They'll pay that money for that just to have the kids outside for 2-3 hours on a Saturday or Sunday. We need to recreate that environment, and I've picked up a lot of tips and lessons from other parks across the U.S. and here in Canada. I was very fortunate last summer to spend some time in Winnipeg. We've got a sister team there, the Winnipeg Gold Eyes.